Buongiorno! Hey, look at my shop. I've got it all cleaned out right now, and it's kind of crazy when it's like that because I have all this room. I can just dance around. I kind of wish I had this much space all of the time, but usually I have lights and all this junk that is now outside. I've got it sitting out in the driveway in my shop vac and all that stuff. I'm always tripping over because I'm just trying to clean up the shop, and also I had to clear it out because I have to shoot a new channel banner for YouTube. YouTube is changing around their channel pages, but it is such a gorgeous day out. It feels like summer out, and it's kind of funny because I guess they're getting snow out in at least parts of the Midwest, and a lot of snow too. It just looks miserable. Actually, it looks beautiful. I think snow looks beautiful. I just don't like to be in it. I've got the whole place to myself today too. We got up at a little bit before 5 o'clock this morning because my son had to leave. He and my wife went down to a performing arts and acting competition that he's in down at Ohlone College, which is in Fremont, and there's over 60 schools competing in this thing. It's from all over, from LA up to San Francisco and everywhere, are competing to win cash and prizes. Well, no cash. Prizes, though. I guess trophies and stuff. I don't know. But he's doing two things. He performed yesterday, and then he's performing again today, and then if he goes to the finals, one of their shows, the musical he's doing, Urinetown. Have you ever seen Urinetown? Have you ever heard of Urinetown? It's a good musical. But he's in that, and that's going to the finals. I just found out. They just texted me. And then he's also doing a scene with a girl. They're doing a scene from a play, which I can't remember the name of, where he plays like this, I think, mentally challenged kid who is locked up in a room and spies on his neighbor with a telescope, and she meets him and wants to have sex with him, and it's just a weird play, and I think everybody dies at the end. I'm not really sure. So I hope you all had a good week wherever you are, and were very productive. I know it took me a long time to make that stupid hat stand, and that project probably gave me more trouble than any project I've done in a long time. And it took me a lot of time to make that stupid thing. And all for really, nobody's really going to watch that video. I mean, it's not the kind of project that really is going to attract visitors to my YouTube channel. I looked at it this morning and there's, I don't know, a few thousand views or something. But I don't know. I had to make it, and you know, when somebody asks me to make something like that, and I think, well, can I get a video out of it? So I did. I got a video out of it. So yeah, that's why I've been working on my YouTube channel this morning, trying to update the channel page because YouTube is changing it around for everybody again. And I remember they did this a few years ago. They do it every so often. They change things around, and everybody was so upset that they were changing to the channel layout that we've been using. And, you know, everybody, this is going to be the death of YouTube is what, and then we all got really used to that. And so here they are, now they're changing it again, and we hear the same comments from people. Oh, this is horrible. It's not that bad. And what it is they're trying to make it so that the channel pages are all scalable to any size device. And I guess that's a good thing. And frankly, I don't think a lot of people visit channel pages. You might look in on it once in a while, but for the most part, if you're subscribed to a channel, you use it, you watch the videos as they come through your feed or email or whatever. But I guess a lot of sites are changing around their banner requirements right now too. So I'd have to look into wherever my videos are. I know that I'm on iTunes, I guess. I never look in on that. I don't know who watches. I guess some people do. And then Blip, too. I don't know. What's the deal with Blip? Do people really watch that? I look at it, and the amount of views I get on Blip is just, well, it's a blip compared to YouTube. So I always wonder, why do people post on Blip when there's YouTube, where everybody knows YouTube? Blip, it just seems like a real niche market. Niche. I don't know what exactly that niche is. I don't know. I think it used to be Blip had higher quality, but now they don't. In fact, YouTube, I think you could have higher quality, and you can have longer videos, and so I don't know. Well, I'm looking through some of the comments on the hat stand video, and I guess there's not a whole lot of questions there. Somebody mentioned that I shouldn't bang on my lathe when I put the the wood in there. And yeah, usually I take that little thing out and bang on it, but sometimes I get lazy and don't do it. So that's why I didn't. Sometimes I just bang on it. That lathe is like over 50 years old and it's still holding up, so whatever. There's several comments that I'm reading about coming up with different kinds of jigs to make the little angled holes for the pegs and for a couple of the other sliding dovetails and all that. Yeah, all of those things are great suggestions. I was just kind of running out of time to get this video done and the project done, and then and actually just kind of losing interest in it. Sometimes that happens. I'm like, oh, I just want to get the damn thing done. And so that was why. But the sliding dovetails were okay. The problem with those is the, to get them to fit right against that round piece, there's going to be, a flat side, so the shoulders aren't really going to be perfect. And I'm sure there's some way of doing that. But I got tired of thinking about it. And so I put them in there. I looked, and it doesn't look too bad. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a gap there. One of the best suggestions on YouTube was just to use an open-end wrench to measure the diameter of those tenons, and I'm going to use that in the future because those calipers are kind of weird to use. I was certain I would get more comments, people complaining about my hot gluing that piece on the board, but nobody complained to me about it. I thought I would hear from the safety patrol, but I guess the hot glue is pretty strong, really. I really had to whack that to get it apart. Somebody suggested that instead of having to break it apart and switch it around, I could have just made a triangle. I thought about that too, but then, well, I'd have to make a triangle. So that's about all I really have to say about the hat stand. It wasn't one of the more memorable projects for me, I'm sure. I'm probably gonna forget about it once it's out of here because I'll never use the thing. But anyways, it was just a long project standing there on that turning. I put in a lot of time. It was probably over 40 hours working on that project, and I don't know, it just wasn't that enjoyable of a project. I like projects that have a lot of components that I can put together and everything, and this just had a couple little tricky parts that were really frustrating. But it was fun to do the Keek updates throughout the week. I really like Keek. We've got a small group of us over there, the Keek Elite. I even made a little shout out to them in my video. Did you see it on the board there? So people were posting about it. But it's so immediate, I can shoot 30 seconds of a little bit of turning I'm doing and showing kind of what I'm doing, and I get suggestions right away from people. Hey, shout out to Jim Booth in Daleville, Alabama. Hello, all the people down in Daleville, Alabama. Jim sent me a couple of these. These are, what do you call them? UMHW. They're, plastic pieces. We used to have cutting boards made of this same material, but what he sent these for was for making runners if I'm going to make any more sleds, to try these out because, well, they're slick and they're easy to cut and they won't, expand and contract the way. It's one of the problems I have with the runners on my sleds is if it's raining out and there's kind of humidity. It's usually a really dry area here, but if it's humid, they swell up and they don't slide very well. So anyways, thanks, Jim.